Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link Trait and Ignite herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Ignite are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
In most professions in our country, it is a requirement that you get continuing education units. But as a farmer, you can do whatever you want. There are no rules for you being a farmer.
You don't have to be successful. You can get the exact same yield you had last year, or even a little bit less if you want to. But if you want to get more yield, wouldn't it make sense to learn just a little bit more and figure out how to do just a little bit better? Now, when we talk about this, we're not just talking about how you get bigger yields, but we're also talking about learning how to treat the soil better and leave it in better condition going forward.
Well, there are a whole number of things, but the point is, we just want you to think about your time. And I know there are lots of jobs for you to do on the farm, from trucking to working on equipment to flat out just cleaning things up.
Accounting, Brian, the fun that is accounting.
So there are all these jobs. But the thing that our dad always told us growing up is he said, guys, if you want to be successful on the farm, you got to try to find jobs that'll pay you $100 an hour or more, and do those jobs yourself and pay somebody else to do the $5 an hour jobs. So in other words, what we're trying to tell you here is, if you can learn a little bit more about even how to increase your corn or soybean yields or wheat yields by 1 or 2 bushels, just think of how many total dollars that is. And if you only spend a few hours learning about it, just think of how many dollars per hour you're making. It's tremendous. So we would just encourage you, take some time over the winter to get some of that continuing education. Go hear some different speakers, learn some different things. Whether you want to go to university workshops or clinics, whether you want to come to our Ag PhD workshops, or whatever it is, just take some time to learn more about new things that are coming in agriculture, ways that you can just slightly tweak things on your farm. And if nothing else, what I always tell people is, you know, we're not the greatest farmers in the world. We don't know everything. One thing I can tell you is, when you come to workshops like the ones that we have, there are usually 200 to 500 farmers there, and they're usually fairly progressive and pretty sharp, many of them a lot sharper than what we are. Just visit with some of those people. If nothing else, by the time you talk to a bunch of other farmers there, you'll probably go home with a few good ideas or a few things you can at least think about in your operation.
Well, the important thing is just to use your time wisely over the winter, and that means learning about your trade. If you're a farmer, find one of those aspects of your operation that you aren't the best in. Maybe it is accounting, maybe it's agronomics. Who knows what that is for you? But whatever that is, this is your chance to learn. You've basically got, in our part of the world, about 6 months until you're going to be planting again. So you got a lot of time there to learn and analyze what happened this year and try and get better for next year.
Yeah, when you talk about that, when we do the winter workshops that we do ourselves, we put together over a 100-page agronomy manual for people and go through some of our results and some of the results from throughout the region and throughout the country with some of the different things that happened this past year. We also talk about what the new things are coming forward, whether it's new pesticides, new diseases that we're concerned about, or insects. We go through soil testing. We go through things that you need to make more money on your farm.
Well, one of the things you might want to learn more about this winter is our Weed of the Week. Can you identify this week's weed?